What's up, my good people? I'm not going to give an introduction. This video is going to be not going to be long. Hopefully it's not going to be long. But with E3 has come and gone, we've seen the reveal of the Xbox One X, and we also seen Forza Motorsport 7. One of the games that had stirred up quite a bit of controversy as of when they talked about it with Digital Foundry. And for a little bit of good reason, because even though a lot of people know racers are the easiest thing to get to run at the console's maximum potential. That's just consoles, PC. It's the easiest thing that you can possibly run. But the key thing that we heard was that they got the engine up running, the Forza Tech engine, and it was running at 4K 60 frames a second with ultra settings. Now mind you, anybody with a PC that has played Forza Apex knows what ultra settings entail. That, full detail, full everything. And we were like, okay, it's possible, and it is what it is. Forza is not the most demanding game, but when they got to running it, we were like, okay, they're running it at ultra settings on Apex, and we know what Apex can do when you jack everything up to native 4K, no dynamic scaling, no dynamic anything, just have everything to its maximum. Minus the MSAA, because you really don't need it at 4K. It's just a form of anti-aliasing. Anti-aliasing at 4K is kind of like a moot point. You really don't need it. But the one thing that will always kill frame rates on Forza was the particle effects, or the effects like mist splashing through water, and especially if you had the particle effect set on high, it would literally, because when you set it on high, it reflects across every car on the track. So if you're in last place, every car is producing the same amount of particles as your car. So we're gonna watch a little bit of this video, because when I watched and I enjoyed what I seen, but when I watched again, I noticed something that kind of stuck out to me. So just watch it. Now, mind you, the car is producing mist off the back fenders. It is doing that. But anybody that's, again, played Apex recognizes something right off the bat. That what it's producing is not the high, which is the highest you can go on Forza Apex with particle effects is high, so we classify that as the ultra settings. So, and it's skipping because it's I can do 4K streaming. It's just a bitch on YouTube for some odd reason. But it's weird because when I seen it, I'm like, no. If it's on high, the volume and the density of the actual spray from the car should be a whole lot thicker than that. And of course, I'm also noticing that the car, and this is just from Apex, so they might have changed it up between 7 and Apex, just slightly. But the car doesn't have the water sticking to it, or it might. No, I take that back, it does. It's just really hard to see it, but it does, but it's slightly. So let's just keep going. So you notice you got the mist coming off the car in front of you, and you got the mist coming off of your car. But, and I'm gonna show this in whenever I get launch the game. This right here isn't what you would see on Apex at ultra settings. Apex at ultra settings, you will see a whole And I mean a whole lot more. And you're going to see it on this part of the track too, because I'm going to do it on the exact same track. You will see a constant whole lot more. And now, since I'm looking at it, the water that will be on the actual car is not present either. So that might just be something they changed with the game, but it's not there. Or if it's there, it's slightly there. So we got through that. Of course, the game looks great. I'm not taking anything away from the game. It's just certain things ain't adding up when they said that it was at ultra settings now. So let's go into, oh, double clicking too fast. Forza Apex. I'm going to do the same exact course, use the same exact car. So nobody can say, oh, well, you didn't know. It's going to be same exact course, same exact, not exact weather settings, because you can only make the track have that wet / it's been raining appearance. So we're going to set it. And I'm going to put everything up to its max. And I'm going to show you what happens. So let me go to my options. Let me reset it. So as you can see, I did an earlier test just to make sure I wasn't tripping. So I'm putting it on high, putting the particle resolution on full. So it's going to have full particle resolution and full particle effects quality. So everything else is on this the highest setting possible. I'm doing it 60 VSync just because I don't want any choppiness. As you can see, ultra, no dynamic anything turned on. Track texture quality high, ultra high. MSAA leave off because that just tanks any damn thing. Depth of field, I even got depth of field on. Again, particle high. Car model quality high, which is the highest you're gonna get right now. Ultra high, ultra, full, ultra. 16 times antroscopic filtering. So, and you'll see whenever you get in when I show you. So, go to a free race. We're on Nürburgring GP in the ring, in the Motul All-Tech GTR, and let's do a race. And you're going to see the frame rate up top. So, as you can see, coming in, you'll see, if you don't notice it right off the bat, the cars has water droplets all over the car. So you should notice that right off top. You should notice that water actually cascading off the car when it's going onto the track. And it's raining. So now, if you look very closely at what Forza 7 was showing, again, this is everything maxed out. By the way, I'm using the 980 Ti. I actually have two of them, but you know, this game only uses one GPU instead of both of them, so I can't use the added benefit of my second one. So we're getting, you know, relatively okay frame rates when it's, but the actual spray itself is just everywhere. And like, the cars in front of me have the same volume of spray to where it fills the screen whenever I get by them. So we're dipping into the 56 area. Yeah, we're dipping into the 56, 58, 57, 56, 57. You know, we're just fluctuating all over this. And again, this is everything up to its highest. This hit 50. Oh, we hit 53, 50. So this is nothing toned down here. And I know people would like to say, "Oh, you're just hating on the game." I'm like, it's not hate. It's pointing out something because it's not what they like. When Richard and them at Digital Foundry did their little test, and here we go again. Seen, and somebody said I cherry picked a screenshot. I didn't cherry pick anything. This is how Apex looks when you run it at 4K, everything maxed out. This is how Apex looks. Forza 7 looks good, but if you say it's 4K 60 ultra settings and your particle effects are not lining up, that's when something crops up to make people doubt what you're saying. So again, not a bad game. We're not saying it's not a beautiful game. We're just saying that what they claimed early on isn't lining up to what they showed at E3. And everybody's going to make the excuse, well, the game's not finished, the game's not that. But you had Forza Tech. Remember, Forza Tech is just what it is. It's tech. It's not the actual game itself. If Forza Tech was technically doing what they said it was doing, which was ultra settings at 4K, then why is Apex showing differently? Or why is Apex demonstrating differently when it's clearly 4K? It's clearly, you know, it's up there on 60 frames a second, but when you're in traffic, or when you come around certain curves, it will dip. And it's all coming down to these, to the particle quality. And I might, once I get done with this one, this lap right here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how much of a difference this actually makes. It makes a big difference. Going from high and turning it down, it makes a difference. Like, I think I can turn it down to, say, medium and get it to stay at 60. Or actually, yeah, I can turn it down to either medium or low and it will stay at 60. Because you turn these suckers on high and it's going to tank frames. That's just the way it is. There's like no getting around it. So let me go and get past this lap right here. And again, you can see water actually coming off the tires, mist, everything else. That's ultra, that's the highest particle setting. So let me go to video, and I'm gonna turn it to medium. Or I might go to low, because I'm suspecting that it's on dynamic. That's what I suspect. So let me quit the race. Exit said race so it can reset everything. Put it right back on the wet track. Now, as you can see, I put the particle effects on low. So now we don't have the water coming off the back fenders anymore. While the car is in motion, we don't have that. We don't see, again, it's missing. If you watched it earlier and you didn't notice it, it's now missing. So, we got the particle effects going, we have the mist going, but now it is not as dense. And if you can notice it on the cars ahead or the cars beside me, it is also not as dense. It's actually reduced really, it's reduced very low. It's really reduced on them. And right now, I am at a constant 59-60. Which if you're at 59, you might as well just go and call it 60. It's not, and I'm not going anywhere close to being at 58. So again, particle effects, dropping down the low. Now I'm getting a constant 60 no matter what. 59-60 again. The cars ahead of me, they still have the mist trails coming off of them. They're just not as pronounced anymore. Well, okay then. That hurt. I'll be even surprised if I can make it back around. But again, this is not any, it's not saying that Forza 7 isn't a beautiful game. It's just saying that something did happen between that Digital Foundry reveal talking about the Forza Tech and what Forza 7 showed us at E3. There is a difference. Ooh, took a bad little hit there though. See, I don't even have the random water particles flying off the car anymore. So, hopefully, this gives some people insight to what I'm talking about. And I know people will sit here and say, well, you know, the game's not... Again, they talked about this with Forza Tech, and they said Forza Tech was running the game at 4K, 60 frames a second, with PC Ultra settings or comparable settings. And I just showed you what PC Ultra settings were and how they affect something like a 980 Ti. And another guy showed a comparison with a 1080. So if a 980 Ti is taking dips and a 1080 is taking dips, we can't just see a game being like that. Like, it's not to say that it's not possible to have it 4K 60, but to say ultra settings, that's stretching it. That's stretching it now. We could say, yeah, it'll be at, on majority of settings, ultra. Sure, we could say majority of settings it'll be ultra. But when it comes to the particle quality, yeah, you're taking a hit. You're taking a hit that people can actually see now and compare. So, again, I'm just putting out information. Take it for what you will. I know majority are probably going to take it in a bad light and saying I'm trying to trash the game. Even though I'll be on the game day, technically, the Ultimate Edition version of day one. So, be that as it may. But, again, this is just my video pointing it out. That's all I can do. And I'm gone.